Holy, well, yeah, no. We didn't.
Go wash your hands in your mouth.
Got it. I don't know if that thing's working, so you might have to yell.
I was gonna say, you have the haircut, not the color. That's the joke we have with my siblings, like middle-aged lesbian or none, and you're like,
All right,
hard to tell for real.
There.
Just flash a photo. Can't start yet, you're a minute early, and public would be very mad. Right. They're like, how can we miss the beginning? This sucks.
well, Ross, right?
Oh,
He
so who's on
he
board?
does our,
David here, transportation.
are we quorumed, Ross?
Two folks in
Thank you very much.
Joe Carter. Coming on Cynthia did a birthday, who works for Sonoma Water. I got hers, we were listening. And Ryan Peterson, who's staying with dad, real involved with.
We've seen him before.
Oh, good, if I see him.
Hmm?
If I see him.
You would recognize him, a bigger guy, he often pulls the like big trailer like thing with like.
I can't really read that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's,
Derek,
My dominant ancestors were.
All right. So, hello, now that Sean is here, we can get started.
Now we can begin.
All right, thank you guys for coming. SCTCA CAC meeting, January 26th at 4:00. So let's start with self-introductions. We'll go this way.
Musa Bassi representing the Santa Rosa Chamber.
Tom Conlon, representing the Sonoma County Conservation Coalition.
Mark Soylan representing District 2.
Tom Banning, District 3.
Angela Conti, Chair of the Paratransit Coordinating Committee.
David Harris, representing Transportation Land Use Coalition with Sonoma County in front of it.
Dominic Coulamard, North Bay Electric Auto Association.
Cool.
Tim Zonner, District 1, Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau.
Hey, Eris Weaver, Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition.
Rick Lutman, and I'm representing the seat of the League of Women Voters from Kelly McNerney, who was kind enough to stand in for me while I was in Rome for 4 months.
Brian Lang, representing the 4th District.
Riggs Locka, the Sonoma County Wine Grape Commission.
I'm John Bly. I'm with the Engineering Contractors Association, and let's find out who we got in the back room.
I don't know if they want me to start. My name is Dwayne DeWitt. I'm from Roseland.
Steph Britt, Transportation Planner with SCTCA.
Chris Cohn, SCTCA.
Chris Barney, SCTCA.
Shauna Gauze, SCTCA.
Dana Trey, SCTCA.
Dave Ripperda, SCTCA.
Adam Garcia, SCTCA.
Fourth, Alejandro Perez, Town of Windsor.
Hey, Alejandro. And Ross Clendon at SCTCA. Thank you. All right.
We got one, two.
And Don? No, we don't introduce you? Come on, give a little speech. Come on, Don. All right, on the screen? Yes, go ahead.
Carol Taylor, North Bay Organizing Project. I have a cold today. I'm so glad to be here at this first meeting of this. I'm so glad to see the new members and how we're combining. Thank you.
Glad you could make it. Thank you. All right. And we will thank you, Mosa, for covering for me for the last meeting. I think I was off doing something and apologize for that. So we're on to public comment on items not on the regular agenda. I'm going to guess that is Dwayne DeWitt. All right, Dwayne, you got the mic.
Hey, shouldn't hand it to me. Hello, my name is Dwayne DeWitt. I'm from Roseland. I'm here because 25 years ago, I was elected to the Southwest Santa Rosa Redevelopment Project area, in which we were talking about the Hearn Avenue overpass. And we started talking about that 30 full years ago during the Southwest Area Plan of Santa Rosa's adventures. I bring this up because it shows sometimes it takes a long time to get things done. I'd like to advocate that we get something done quicker, and it's something you can use state law to help with, because the state recently passed a law that allows school districts to have speed limits lowered. This is really important. And I believe if this county, and especially the Sonoma County Transportation and Climate Authority, were to get behind the idea of having every school district in the county that had a school zone to lower their speed limit down to 20 miles an hour would be a really good thing for kids. In my neighborhood of Roseland, which is a small district of just 1.2 square miles, we got 5 schools and people race through there. You could say, well, that's in the city. Well, you know what? If you folks got behind the idea of getting this countywide 20-mile-an-hour speed limit in school districts, that would hold more sway at the city than me, just Joe Blow coming in from the street. If you ever been up to Nevada, up in Nevada, you go through a school zone any faster than 20 miles an hour, you're going to get in trouble. They're there. You get tickets. That's the only way you could actually get enforcement going around here. So I'm asking you folks to jump on that bad boy because you also help work with what are called community-based transportation plans. And I was on one for Roseland 15 years ago. Somehow or another, I end up getting to meetings to talk about things that take a long time. Please, I'm hoping you folks in this new year will make it a short order kind of situation. All school districts in the county should be contacted by you folks and ask if there is an interest for the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. That goes for child safety and also safe routes to school. It's a really win-win situation, and you can start getting funding from the state. I can't give you any dough, but hey, you want to make it go. Thank you kindly for your time. I'll come back later.
Yeah, just to comment on that too, Dwayne, I would say that if there has been close call accidents or accidents, it would lend itself to that in a much more greater way.
Wait till somebody gets killed. Patrick Jerome Scott was killed out on Bellevue Avenue when they built LC Allen High School because they didn't put in those types of safeguards ahead of time. So I can always refer back to that, but let's not let another kid get killed. Thank you kindly.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? Any other public comments that are not agendized? Thank you, Dwayne. All right. Ross, we're up for the minutes.
Yeah, the minutes have been included.
I just picked your name out, just I wanted. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from November 24th? I was not here, so I'm going to abstain. Yes, go ahead.
I noticed on today's minutes, it says January 26th, 2025.
Oh, my goodness.
You passed the test.
Who did we catch in that? It's the only error of the year.
Meeting's ruined.
It
That's
made
it.
me stop and think.
This is so good. All right. Thank you for that. Is there a motion to approve the November 24th, 2025
So moved.
minutes? Thank you. Got to move.
Seconded.
We got a second. Any discussion? Corrections? All those in favor of approving the minutes signify aye. Opposed? And one abstention. Two abstentions. 3. 4 abstentions. Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you. And measure items were Go Sonoma project presentation. Alejandro, you are up. Wait a minute. Are you get introduced by anybody? Yeah, Shauna's going to make this way more professional.
Good afternoon, committee members. Everybody is well. Happy New Year. As we do each month, we have a project project sponsor who is receiving measure funds, who is going to come and give you a presentation on the status of both of those projects. That person is Alejandro Perez, and he is with the town of Windsor.
Fantastic. And while we're waiting for him to come over, I'm going to give a nod to the town of Windsor. I think it was last year, the year before last, we picked the roundabout as our bridge award, and it is an awesome project down there, right by the train station and the fire department.
That's correct. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Windsor.
Well done by your staff, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for having me here. I'm here to present, to update you on two projects for the town of Windsor. I guess I'll be looking behind here trying to.
If you want to come over here, come on.
Yep.
Yep.
I can
It's
sit-
easier.
Yeah, I can do that too. It's probably easier if I just get back there. I don't want.
Okay, good to there. All right.
Back there. Thank you.
We're talking about changing that,
Oh, appreciate that.
weren't we? Guest speakers.
Just reserve a seat up here too.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the Old Redwood Highway pavement project, preservation project. Here's a project location. As you can see, it's corridor on the Old Redwood Highway corridor, just east of Highway 101, located between 4th Street on the north end down to Panabode Court on the very southern end of the town of Windsor.
Does it cover the Shiloh Road? I can't tell from that map.
No, it's before Shiloh Road.
Oh my God, that is such a tragedy.
Don't let me start on that one.
I know, right?
As capital improvements, I can't say anything.
Don't ride a
Right.
bike on at that intersection. You'll fall down.
Correct. So Old Redwood Highway existing conditions we have there along the corridors, we have some 4-lane sections as well as 2-lane. We have localized pavement failures up and down the road. We have sidewalk gaps and also no sidewalks in a lot of Old Redwood Highway, and also mostly continuous Class 2 bike facilities. So the project scope of the pavement preservation program is to rehabilitate about close to 1.5 miles of Old Redwood Highway. Includes enhancing 7 crosswalks, mixing a class of bike Class 2 and bike 4 facilities, Class 2 buffered facilities up and down Old Red, as well as improving bike detection at traffic signals and upgrading 27 pedestrian ramp locations. So typical pavement rehabilitation, full width with grinding and an overlay of 3.5 inches, or about 3 inches of new asphalt. For pedestrian improvements, we have at some locations, like I said, enhancing those crosswalks with high visibility crosswalks, refuge islands, and rectangular flashing beacons, and also improving curb ramps and bulb outs at locations where we can. Also, through the project, we have various locations where we'd like to install buffered bike lanes using K71 bollards, green paint, green markings for those locations where it crosses with travelway, conflicting areas. Further miscellaneous improvements using new signage and refreshing striping all the way up and down the corridor, with reducing travel lane down to 10 feet in some locations to reduce speeds. So our schedule, as shown here, we've completed environmental, and we are currently still in design, and we expect to complete design next month. Right away, as well as right away getting some utilities moved in the area. And the schedule for construction is we hope to begin in July and have this completed before the end of the year. Here are the costs that we have currently, our estimates for construction, and showing our available funding. So design has been covered. The town paid for all of the design. Construction, as I described in the presentation, came in at approximately $5.4 million. And available funding to the town for this project is only about $2.7 million. That's with including Go Sonoma and local funds. And so we've come to a gap of almost $2.7 million to complete the construction as planned. So the town has proposed to limit the scope, reduce the scope of the project. So basically cut down paving about half of the project, 7/10 of a mile, enhancing 4 crosswalks, still blending the class 2 and class 4 bike facilities up and down the corridor, improving detection at Alden Lane, 1 signal, and upgrading 15 pedestrian ramps. So doing those improvements, we think the project will come in within the budget that we have. So it still makes for a pretty good improvement, just not as much as we hoped. So any questions? Here's contact information for myself or Brandon Barrett, and we also have a project website on the Town of Windsor's website.
Don or Ross, can we share that with the committee afterwards? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So you're going to bid in March, Alejandro, you think?
We expect probably about March, yeah. And so we can go to the next one.
Shauna?
I recommend that we get through the next presentation and then go back to questions.
Got it. Okay.
Done.
Yeah. We wanted to go through the next presentation, right?
Yeah, so we'll go,
Yeah.
I'll go through the
Rick,
next
can you
presentation
hold
right
off
now.
on your question until we're done?
About this project.
Okay.
They wanted to do questions for both.
They wanted to do questions for both afterwards.
Okay. So now I'll update you on the downtown pedestrian and bike crossing of US 101. Oh, this is, yeah. So this is on PDF, right? So this project is located right downtown on the downtown project Windsor, right under the 101 overpass and Central downtown. Next slide, please. There we go. This shows some future projects also that are as part of a study that was done years ago, which was called the Connecting Central Windsor. Next slide. The location, these are the extents of the project, showing, let's see, what else? We'll just get into more details. Next slide. So the project scope is intersection and signal modifications, reduced ped crossing distances, providing separated bike and pedestrian facilities, as well as dual bike lanes, buffered bike lanes, and improved retaining walls down through the underpass. These are the 2 intersections we looked at, Lakewood Drive and the 101 off-ramp, on-ramp, providing modifications to those intersections and traffic signals. Next slide. We'd like to also in those areas reduce the crossing for pedestrians with bulb outs and extending curb ramps. Next slide. We also plan to provide separated bicycle facilities on both north and south side of Old Redwood Highway there, between the off-ramp, on-ramp, and Lakewood Drive. Next slide. The dual bike lanes on each side would provide for bicyclists to be able to travel in both directions on each side of Old Redwood Highway, as well as pedestrian facilities on each side. Next.
Wait 1 second, sorry.
Mhm.
So it'll be like the contraflow or the tooth flow, both sides
Both sides.
with those little plastic bollards or?
Go back. I'm sorry, plastic
I
bollards?
see 1 or 2 bollards.
Oh, the bollards. Yeah. In that photo, it is showing bollards, but in this area, there would not be. Right under the overpass, there would not be case under ones.
the two-way end? Just
At-
those two intersections?
At those two intersections, at Lakewood and and it begins at the northbound on-ramp. Okay, next slide. Here are the buffered bike lanes where we would put the bollards. So that's on the left, you're seeing the bollards as the approach. On the west side going east, right before you get to the 101 on-ramp. Provide K71s on the south side and the north side. And then on the next photo on the right, you'll see the bollards on the north end as in the westbound direction as you approach Lakewood. And as required to make all these improvements, we have to widen the underpass. So we'd have to push back the existing retaining walls and provide for improvements and improve those retaining walls. And if you could, one more slide would show the proposed types of possible retaining walls to be built. Next slide. So showing our schedule, scoping, environmental has all been completed. We are currently in final design, and we expect to complete this final design by the end of the year. Right of way has been acquired from Caltrans, and all necessary right of way is complete, and we expect to begin construction next year and complete the work in 2027, before the end of 2027. Next slide. Shows again the cost that was for design right of way that was covered by the town. And our current estimate of the project, $8.3 million, and as the plans show right now, it's 65%. And as you can see, we have is a funding gap with all the money available to us, to the town. We have a funding gap of $3.5 million. And next slide. So the next steps is we're looking at constructing the project in phases and evaluating at this time only making the northerly improvements, north side improvements for the project. So that is my presentation and update, and here's some other information for contact.
All right, Rick? Question?
These look like great projects. And it's very disappointing to hear that you are about 50% underfunded for them. Is there really no project that prospect that you can get money enough to finish these somehow for the future?
No. Well, as before, with the downtown project, we actually applied for SB1 funding, as we did with the Windsor Roundabout before 2 years ago, and we were not successful in those funds. Our consultant has continued to look for funding, but we have not been able to. And it's just very hard to find money right now to construct capital improvements.
Yeah, Harris.
Help me understand the rationale behind the two-way cycle track on the two sides, because I'm always. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. What my question was about the rationale of the two-way cycle tracks on those short sides. Then what happens if we're always trying to get people to ride on the right side of the road. Yeah, I hate it. And then when there's a two-way cycle track for just a little piece, what are people supposed to do at either end if they're going the wrong way? Why should they be riding on the wrong way under the freeway?
Well, the way we looked at it is those two-way lanes are meant really for those people that are not used to riding bikes through this area. A lot of people do not want to ride their bikes under the overpass because it's very narrow, and they just don't feel comfortable. So for those avid cyclists, we will keep those one direction bike lanes on each side. However, we're providing those two ways for those people that, you know, they're not used to riding their bike on the street. So you provide both ways and there's room for both.
Are they riding once they're
Can I
not?
explain real quick?
Okay,
Because I know this area very well.
okay, yeah.
And if I could jump in.
Please.
Hi, Alejandro. Good to see you.
Good.
Basically, yeah, it's interesting. There's a desire path in a lane that pops out right by 101.
Mhm.
And there's a 55 and over community, there's a bike path, there's the Safeway, the Rayleighs, it's all on one side. When you're on the northern side of Old Redwood Highway, you're popping over to the town green over there, and that's where all those activities are. So it's all on that side of Old Redwood Highway.
Where all the stuff is.
All the stuff is. The other side has other stuff, but it's more like services and not as much like shopping and retail and
So
attraction.
people are doing this rather than going through.
Correct, because other people aren't going across the street. That is a sketchy, awful intersection that this town has been battling for 30 years. But back when Dwayne DeWitt was first doing stuff. No, oh, he's gone. So there is a method to the madness, and I can kind of see what you're doing. But you and I can go over there and try it out. But didn't mean to steal your thunder. Good, because I do have a
I'm good.
question. Okay, now I have a question.
Go ahead.
Alejandro, are you gonna, so Caltrans, has the freeway above it, and they have the big pillars that support the freeway. Is the two-way track gonna be in where the current green painted bike lane is, or is it gonna be, you're gonna push back the wall and go where the sidewalk is?
Yeah, the travel lanes, all the road, it stays the same. Everything will be on the other side.
Back, like a
Push
few
the
feet.
retaining wall back, yes.
That would be, that'll be amazing, because I know there are a lot of Windsor residents that want to ride their bike. There's a 55 and over community. They get in their cars and they drive a half mile, because it's a very scary way to cross. So this would be a huge improvement.
It would, yes.
My quick question on this, though, is there is a slip lane where people are turning left. It freaks me out. You've raised it up a little bit. It's the on-ramp for 101 North.
Yes.
Will there be some way to make sure that we're being very clear if people turning left onto 101 North from Old Redwood Office? They're kind of heading south and they're kind of making a hard left turn to go north.
To go onto the freeway.
Yeah, so how can they make sure they can see people coming on their bikes on this double pathway when they're heading southbound?
Yes, it will be that intersection is just a great big challenge. And right now what we use is the rectangular flashing beacons, and that's for pedestrians. For bicyclists, it will be just as it is now. And it's really
I've seen some sensors that when people pass through these gates, the lights flash.
Mhm.
Would it be something to consider? when
That's
they're
something we
coming this
could,
way,
yeah,
it starts
actually,
flashing, 'cause
that's a
when
good
you're
idea.
looking, You'll
Mhm.
see it.
I could run that with our design team, and that's.
Bring it to the planning commission. I hear they're awesome in Windsor. My other question is, I've asked before about leading pedestrian intervals. Basically, we give people 5 seconds when they push that button to get into the crosswalk. And then when people are heading to 101 South from Old Redwood, so that they're passing, the barber shop and stuff like that, they're going onto the freeway ramp.
Yeah.
We give them 5 seconds before
clear.
the light turns.
Mhm.
We might look at expanding those, because there are a lot of elderly people that need to get across. And
Right.
I know they have the bulb outs, but we don't do that very well up in Windsor.
At this point, the town is working with Caltrans, because those are, in case you don't know, all of those intersections, those traffic signals are controlled by Caltrans. They're owned by Caltrans, so we have to go through them to make modifications, and that's why this project is going through with them. But we are at the same time working with them to take over ownership of those signals. So if that happens, then we will have a lot more freedom to make.
I do see a lot of near misses there, a lot. So, just to put it in the minutes, and maybe if Caltrans is listening, or if we can find their phone number, that really should be addressed. But thank you, I appreciate that. Those are my questions.
Tom Banning first, and then Tom Conlon.
Just clarification on the two-way questions. The two-way things go all the way to the far ends of the adjacent intersections. That is to the far east side of the Lakeville intersection and the far west end of whatever that intersection is there. Old Red, thank you. That's where you would enter that zone.
The zone would, or the two-way bike lane would start at the, on the north side, it would begin just east of the off-ramp. If we're looking at, if there's a, you can't see it, but there's a map we could see, it just begins right after the off-ramp. If we're just looking at the north, at the north side, this two-way would begin on the right after the southbound off-ramp, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And would extend all the way to Lakewood.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Also, the automated flashers for pedestrian and bicyclists that Tim was alluding to there's a scheme in service on the Ohlone Greenway. I've seen it in El Cerrito beneath the BART tracks where the Ohlone Greenway runs near the El Cerrito BART station, and they get your attention. So if you want to see one in action or check on reliability with another jurisdiction, I would check there.
Name again, Ohlone?
The Ohlone Greenway in El Cerrito. I'm not sure if it's city or BART or East Bay Regional Parks or somebody like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Tom Conlon?
Yeah, I'll just pile on with that comment. I think as a bicycle rider, the rectangular flashing beacons are really hard to use. They're often too far away to reach. So, and especially if it's a known problematic intersection, it's worth the extra design effort to get this right. I'm excited to hear that there's improving technology in this area. My question had to do with the first presentation and the disappointing reduction in scope, having to basically cut that segment in half. I wasn't clear on which segment is going to suffer the delay. Is the work happening at the south end of that segment?
I apologize, yes. There will be improvements up and down all the corridor. However, the pavement will begin at the south end and go up to the north end would be just before Shade Tree Drive, past, if you're familiar with the area, Pleasant Avenue. So it's basically we're repaving the south end of the road section.
Okay, well, in general, I'm in favor of investments in the southernmost segments of the county, just because that's where the people are. And so glad to hear that that's at least your prioritization of this.
Yeah, and that's where we prioritize the pedestrian improvements as well in those southern areas where we've had some issues with pedestrians in our crosswalks there. So we're looking at that's the area we're focused.
Note to self, Tom Conlon says screw Cloverdale and Healdsburg.
Well, if you're giving me an opening here, I'll go on.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
This is probably more for staff and a clarification. During when we were talking about the ballot measure, putting it together, and during the campaign, I believe it was called maintenance of effort, that all these funds were in addition to existing commitments by the jurisdictions. And I'm just wondering, is there any control audit that is in effect happening?
That's a good reminder. It's been a while since we've talked about maintenance of effort. So is it minimum effort or
Can you
maintenance of
repeat
effort?
that on?
Is
Yeah.
there any?
Hello.
We
Hello.
talked
Could you
about
repeat the question?
maintenance of effort during the campaign, and it comes up from time to time.
Absolutely.
And so my question is there any tracking to say, yes, the jurisdictions are,
Yes,
all the
it's an
Sonoma funds are in addition to what they were existing prior to?
absolutely. And yes, we actually took a reminder of the maintenance of effort requirement to the Technical Advisory Committee last Thursday. The jurisdictions are required to respond to SCTCA by February 15th each year to report on their maintenance of effort. And we do have an entire formula that works out how much they are required to spend, and it's on a 3-year rolling average. And I can go over that with the committee at another time if you'd like, but yes, we do still have the MOE requirement.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes, go ahead. Angela?
Yeah, can you speak to your design plans inclusion of seniors and people with disabilities and mobility devices in the design?
Specifically, I guess I'm not, all of our projects are both projects include ADA improvements, curb ramps, and the push buttons at all at the crosswalks and refuge islands. So if you're more specific, I guess, what do you look?
I'm just wondering about more specific for the design process within your project based. I mean, are you really thinking outside the box in terms of solving some of these issues?
We try to all the time. That is one thing we do. Try to solve pedestrian and bicyclist issues around town, and the seniors, they're always part of the plan too. So,
what are some of those things? Just give me like 3 thoughts that you have that you've been working on that.
well, again, like I said, earlier on under the freeway crossing project where we've included those two-way bicycle lanes. Although for Eris, it doesn't make sense, right? For in the normal biking for those avid bicyclists, but for people that are not very avid users and but would like to ride their bikes more often, we provided this separated two-way bike facility for them to ride. You're off the road and mixing with pedestrians and able to ride in both directions to get across the freeway.
And this works for everybody with limited mobility.
Yes, also it would also work for wheelchair as well. Yeah, and the pedestrian access will have a very wide sidewalk on that side also, so provide for a lot of room for pedestrians, for even bicycles if they chose to ride on that side, and wheelchairs as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Question on lights under the overpass. I remember when we were talking about this design a couple years ago at a presentation, one of the complaints was it's very dim underneath that overpass because it's such a wide overpass. Are you able to incorporate some additional lighting in the Caltrans deck up there?
There will, in the retaining walls, the plan is to put lights on the walls. So yes, there is lighting improvements.
And then my other question probably has more to do with the events that you guys do. I think yours is on Wednesday nights.
Thursdays.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys talking about incorporating a crossing guard for at least for the first couple of events? Because that's such a heavily trafficked ramp on the Lakewood hillside, on the east side of the freeway, that on-ramp to go north. I would think that's where your main near misses are for the most part. With all the traffic of people that are walking with strollers and bikes and everything else, maybe the first couple of those Thursday night events, you put a crossing guard out there.
Okay, that's a suggestion. We could look into.
Everything's governed by the almighty dollar. I get it.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
And just a quick question. I mean, you're able to do this and extend those, move those retaining walls back with, what's it do to the highway deck up above? I mean, you're going to be interrupting 101?
No, we will not. It is luckily the abutments, everything, there is room below there. So we have to move some dirt, but the supports are further back. So we have some room in there, and that's what's been able to create that wide area. So we were very lucky to have that. So
So
it's still
Caltrans
costly.
had foresight into this or
Maybe
what?
they did. Possibly they did. Yeah.
Well, Alejandro, thank you very much for your presentation. Very informative. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you.
Good projects.
Yeah. Right, Shauna, you're up with the STIP exchange. Sorry, what?
You have a, you had an online question from Jan Schiller.
Oh,
Would you like
okay.
me to read it?
Yeah.
She said, well, she had a statement and a question. She said, congratulations on your wonderful plans and all the hard work that you and the town of Windsor have already completed with your plans. How are you considering those who use wheelchairs, such as the remodeling of the ramps? So you may have gotten to that. Thanks for all the good work you are doing. Do you feel like that was answered possibly?
So I think I addressed that with the,
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Thank you, Jen
Right,
and
very much.
Angela, for those questions. Appreciate it. All right. All right, we're on to our STIP reporting overview. Shauna, I think. What did I miss? Go Sonoma and STIP Exchange Project Quarterly Reporting Review. And we've already lost 15 minutes of your presentation.
This,
damn it.
this one was so good, I read it twice.
Well, then I can be done.
All right,
Uh,
there we
This
go.
is just included for your information, Mr. Chair and committee members. These are the quarterly reports that are provided to us by all of the project sponsors, like Alejandro. They provide us with this quarterly reporting so that we can keep track of their progress even before they've appropriated funds to make sure that we're making sufficient progress to deliver these projects in a timely manner. So they're all included for your information, and it includes both Go Sonoma and this STIP fund exchange.
Cool. You got us back ahead of schedule. Thank you. Good job. All right, Brenton, you're up. Go Sonoma, Measure M Financials.
Ready?
This is where it gets exciting, right here.
Right.
Right here, right now.
Okay. We left the, working on it? Okay, so we have the usual presentation and then there's a short question for the committee afterward. So these are the Go Sonoma and Measure M financials for the month ending December 31st, 2025. So the end of the last calendar year. Just to spoil it, it was a quiet month. The order of materials provided are the standard now with Go Sonoma balance sheet and cash flow reports coming before Measure M balance sheet and cash flow reports because Go Sonoma is the active tax. So the Go Sonoma financials showed $2,572,000 in revenues in December. And so the year-to-date revenues, $10,722,000. So it's doing pretty well. And as I said, quiet December for expenses, just over $63,840 with year-to-date expenses of $1,875,644. And Go Sonoma has built up a cash balance of $12,683,256. The revenues were straightforward, entirely sales tax for December. And as you see here for the year-over-year comparison, the sales taxes received in December were slightly down from where they were last year, but that big bump that we saw at the last meeting for October seems to have carried through. Our year-to-date earned is up 1.7% from where we were last year, and our year-to-date received is up 0.4%, so still up slightly. The December expenses were split. About 3/4 of it was staff time, $45,060, with $18,432 in consulting services. The largest program expenses are going to be the Go Sonoma roads and transit programs, and we have made those payments in this month. So next month will be looking different. All right, and now moving on to Measure M, there were no revenues in December. And year-to-date revenues were $867,796. And because the Measure M is completed,
They're going to be going around that pace. It's going to be largely interest and then reimbursement payments. And the expenses for Measure M were $217,923 with year-to-date expenses of $1,879,950. And Measure M still has its large cash balance of $77,482,535. Those December expenses were $171,285 of consulting services and $33,219 in staff time. All right, so I can take questions on that, and then we have a question for the board or the committee afterward. So any questions? Yes.
Yeah, Rick.
What's going to happen to the $77 million that you got in the Measure M account since Measure M is finished now?
It's the Measure M tax is finished, but those dollars are sitting in the local street projects and Highway 101 funds largely, and they will be programmed and spent over the next several years, and we'll continue reporting on those.
So it's all allocated to Windsor can't ask for more for.
I believe that there might still be programming due. That's more of a question for David, but it is in its particular fund. So it will be spent on projects or Highway 101.
I noticed this in the minutes from the last meeting, but Brenton, if you could add the loan transfer as like an asterisk note on these reports going forward. Last month, I think we said was a $5 million roughly loan from Measure M to Go Sonoma that has yet to be paid. So that's 77 is actually 82 is, I think.
So the loan value amount does show up on the balance sheet, and it was 1.8 million. That was my mistake. The loan was authorized for 5 or 6 million. 1.847 million was transferred.
Okay, so that's the kind of confusion I want to try to eliminate from this. So if you could just put that on our reports going forward so that that's in front of us at each meeting.
Okay, I'll make a note.
Thank you.
Quick question. Would you go back to the slide where you're showing we had an increase you said the increase is continuing for December. I think it was 1.7% increase in our income for the year. And I think I know the answer to this, but that's a pretty sizable increase. You guys are usually spot on. So what do you attribute the 1.7% increase to? People buying more big ticket items, so the sales tax revenue went up? What
I would think it would have to be more transactions. I don't want to speculate on what the particulars were, but yes, it's all sales tax revenue.
When you have a 1.7, when you have an increase like that, are you able to modify your forecast moving forward?
The forecasts that we receive are provided by HDL, who's our sales tax provider, and they look at those and they provide us updates. Yeah.
Thank you. Tom had a question.
Just to follow up on Rick's question regarding Measure M 70 to 77 million. Highway 101 and the rest of it goes to, is that already started projects? Did I understand that correctly?
Let me bring David up to talk to him about the actual programming of the funds.
Projects were hard coded into the ballot measure. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. David Ripperda, Director of Process and Programming here at SCTCA. So the remaining balances in the Highway 101 program and on the Measure M local streets projects and bike and ped programs will go towards eligible projects in those categories. For Highway 101, we have a number of mitigation monitoring and other commitments necessary for the program through the year 2032. So those will be spent on those. If there are remaining funds in Highway 101, we will be coming back with potentially future amendments to the expenditure plan to allow those expenditures to move forward, but there's no capital projects on 101 moving forward right now other than the design and landscaping projects. On the LSP projects, we did receive a number of applications through the SCTCA funding program for projects that are eligible to receive those funds along with the bike and ped program. And so we'll be coming back to you with recommendations on the programming this summer.
That was a lot of information.
That was quick.
Did you get that? Hope somebody did. Yeah, go ahead, David.
Just a quick comment on the December drop. The fact that the tax credit on electric vehicles went away caused a lot of car purchases to drop off in EVs after September 30th. So that could have been a good bit of why December dropped from year to year.
That could be.
Melissa?
My question is for David, in fact, can we lend some of the $77 million to the Go Sonoma projects to expedite them,
Yes, so as Brenton mentioned earlier, we had an authorization to advance, I believe roughly 5 million from Measure M to Go Sonoma to advance some of those projects. A number of those projects have had delays, so we weren't needing to take out the full loan amount. But we do the ability to loan additional funds from Measure M to Go Sonoma to advance projects as needed. So we retain that ability to do loans.
What a fun job. Who gets to maneuver all that money around? I kind of like that job. Is that you, dude?
It's a team effort.
There you go. Yeah, go ahead.
Just quick question, I'm sorry. For when we receive money in December, for example, you have, taxes received in December. Remind me, and I'm sorry, is it like a 30-day or a 60-day lag from when those purchases occurred?
It's 2 months.
2 months.
So
60 day.
December would be
September or
October.
October.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So all the holiday shopping will appear 2 months from now. But
Yeah.
perfect.
Got it. Well done.
All right, thank you. And then we do have a question for the committee. After the presentation of the audited financial statements, there had been some question about them, and Kellen from Soren, our auditor, offered to make available himself for a 30 to 60-minute webinar / training if anyone would like to speak with him and have him go over or present how a committee like this can best read audited financial statements like that and what to look for. And so if there's interest in that, we don't think that it would fit within an ordinary committee meeting. So there's been talk about setting it outside of the meeting, probably as a webinar, possibly online, depending on what everyone is looking for.
I'll go. I love that idea. So all those in favor?
Okay.
Whether you participate or not, doesn't really matter if you think it's a good idea. There you go.
We just have to make sure that we're not in any Brown Act violations. We need to make sure that this is clearly not a CAC meeting. We may invite some folks from other committees as well, but we'll get that figured out.
Okay. I saw something pop up. Carol Taylor had a question. I didn't know who she was on. Okay. I
was just saying yes, yes, yes to the explanation of how to read the financials. I would love that.
Thank you.
Okay, in that case, we'll work with Soren and set up a date that works for as many people as possible.
Okay.
And if you are interested and you're interested, reach out to Don or I, and we'll keep everyone on a list and notify everyone when it's scheduled.
Fantastic. Thank you. Good idea.
So we voted unanimously that it's a good idea for everybody else.
Correct. And a webinar
Well, we usually have Dennis Harder to interpret everything for us, but he's not here this time. So. Thank you,
All right,
Brendan.
thank you all.
All right. All right, here's the meat and potatoes coming up now. This is the big one.
More, kind of a gluten-free dessert, I think. Yeah, this is just mainly a follow-up, but it's related to the annual report. So last year, we brought the annual report in text form to the committee for feedback. This is going to go to the board at this next meeting, but we just got a version back from the graphic designer today, which I did send out. I apologize for the very short amount of time there, but I just want to let you know kind of the process of the annual report and how CAC feedback was used to create it. So as we know, the goal was to create one cohesive document that detailed both the agency's overall work that was done previously with the SCTA RCPA annual report, Now, as the organization has come together, that's one, but we also wanted to put the Go Sonoma tax measure annual report together with that, which is a requirement of the measure. Previously, that was a separate report in the Measure M days as well. So with that in mind, staff worked to come up with a new format that both would let this report work as a promotional, informational document, but also satisfy those reporting requirements for Go Sonoma. And I think we did a serviceable job with that for the first year, and we used Kim Dow, who is a local designer. I always say local designer, but I figure I'll give her a shout out for assembly. She's done a lot of work for us in the past. Yeah. And so part of that was input that we received during the CAC meeting when this was presented after, I believe in December, this content, we added content basically related to the sunset of Measure M and an encapsulation of the Measure M accomplishments. So both of those, I think you added it in 2 sections, Shauna, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so I know there was, pages 21 and 37, I know.
Yeah, I added it to the beginning of each program section. So there's a way for you to see the summary of what was done over the fiscal year and what was done over the length of the measure.
Thank you. So that was one of the big updates that came from this meeting. And then next steps, it will go to the board. If you do have future feedback on it, comments certainly can be submitted, but that will be, we're not going to do another version until we get board feedback on that. I think it's very close, but we will get final approval. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is basically if anyone would like printed copies, we will be doing a print run, and I can certainly make those available for any committee members that would like them, because we always print them, but we don't want to end up with a giant stack of them. It looks bad. So do reach out and just let me know if you'd like a printed copy. And again, I apologize for the short timeline of getting it out there, but we just got a new version from the designer this morning. So that is what will go to the board. You'll see it come out in the board packet soon. So you got a preview basically. But that is the status of the new combined annual report. As I said, not a main course, but just a little something. But do let us know if you have questions, comments, either now or after the fact, leading up to the board meeting related to the annual report. Yeah, Harris.
I did read it and look through it, and I thought it did a very good job of having complete information yet being concise and not having too many confusing. Right, because before we had 2 organizations and multiple, it felt very compact and easily understandable and nice looking.
Excellent. Yeah.
You guys, I think you are talking tomorrow night about the 2050 comprehensive transportation plan.
Two nights from now, and actually I'm
Wednesday night.
very glad you brought that up. There's a little sheet on it right there. Yeah, a separate effort, a planning effort, but that will be held here in this, I guess we kind of move right to announcements. That will be held in this room Wednesday night, 6 to 7:30. This is getting feedback on a draft of the comprehensive transportation plan. If you go to that QR code, you can look at a draft of the plan. You can let us know if you're going to attend. There will be pizza and kid activities, but most importantly, we will have the planning team here ready to kind of go over the various aspects of the plan, so you can really kind of get into it. There will be a very brief presentation, but most of it is going to be open house style.
Can you add the caption under some of the photos and the graphics in the report? Because some of them, like, for example, there is in the staff page, there is a photo for the staff and the board,
Right.
And some of the graphics just to clarify what is it,
That is a good suggestion. Thank you. Any other
Questions,
feedback?
comments? I'll relay one comment from our friends at SOS. They didn't like the inclusion of the phasing out of all zero carbon emissions by 2050. They think that was maybe an overreach for such a comprehensive plan and so forth. And I don't know whether you guys are going to consider that Wednesday night or not, but I told my buddy Craig I'd bring it up tonight, so there I did.
For the comprehensive transportation plan, I don't think that, certainly other people can weigh in, but we're not going to be making big statements and goals like that. The comprehensive transportation plan is more verifying that the priorities that we're working with are correct.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I haven't read it, so I'm gonna. But
yeah,
but Craig went through it and he asked me to bring it up because that is kind of a big, bold mission statement, goal, whatever you want to say.
I believe that was made as part of the mobilization strategy. I think.
Yeah, and I can weigh in on that. Thanks for that comment. So we do, one of our goals in the comprehensive transportation plan is to have a zero emissions transportation system in the future. So one of the goals is to move towards zero emission vehicles. So we'll be talking about that on Wednesday night, but we're planning on bringing the CTP to this group next month as well. So that'd be a great time to kind of dig into the goals, the content of the plan, and talk about implementation as well. So maybe just a little spoiler for next month.
Perfect.
But thanks for that comment.
Yeah,
We'll-
thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah. Wow. Announcements. Thank
I'm
you.
going to make one more before.
Oh, you got,
before I leave
okay.
Here. Well, I have the
This is
floor.
now going to an extended dessert. Now we get a truffle with it too.
It's a moose bouche here. So the one thing I will say is we traditionally, for a long time, we were on a 2-year election cycle. Last year, we took a look and realized that it's supposed to be 1 year. However, we do need to notice. So we will be noticing elections next month, and we will be looking to do chair and vice chair elections in March. So just wanted to pass that along.
All right. Thank you. Announcements? Good of the game?
I just have one quick one.
I can always count on you for something. You've been very quiet tonight.
John, I've got one real quick.
Yeah, you got one?
I just want to say that last Friday, I work in Sonoma Valley, where Tom lives, and I wanted a taco. So I walked to the Sonoma Farmers Market, which I think we should all do if you're down there. I saw this great table with wonderful people asking for public input. And it was SCTA staff asking for the public's input on some changes down there.
You get bonus points for that.
Not only that, I got a little flashing.
Whoa,
So engage people. You might get a little, where's the camera? There you go. You might get a little flashing light. So I just want to thank the staff for being down there and engaging. And the tacos were fantastic, by the way. Another meeting. Thank you.
Nice. Good acknowledgement there. Yeah, David.
Yes, I have been following the issue of the 101 overcrossing here in Santa Rosa since 2004. There were 22 years. And
One, the Hearn or the one that
no, the bicycle pedestrian overcrossing at Elliott to Edwards. And I talked to city staff today, and that is going before city council on February the 10th. The bids have come in over the funding. Surprise, surprise, right? And I have been an advocate for doing something other than a mini copy of the Sundial Bridge, which I cannot believe is the most cost-effective overcrossing structure. So
they did put some bells and whistles on this one that drove the price up a little bit, but they are gonna, from what I heard this morning, they are gonna find the money and award it. They actually, a little bit of a cute story. They came to me and asked if there was somebody that could green sheet this to double check their engineer's estimate. So I sent it to a contractor who shall remain nameless. who came back and said, oh, 30 million? You got it covered. Fine. The
Yeah,
bids
that was
came-
some years
bids
ago.
came in at, no, this was 2 months ago. So the bids came in at 38 million. So I quickly called that contractor, who shall remain nameless, and said, way to cut fish and bait. I mean, you sold them a bill of goods, said 30 million was plenty, and went to 38 million.
Well, I
And
read.
he was mentioning some decking or something that's on that bridge that drove the price up, but I can't imagine it drove it up 6 million. I think he just might have missed something when he was green sheeting it, but
The Press Democrat said it was 40.
yeah, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah, 38.
And there-
What's $2 million?
Well,
Jeez, David,
Right,
come on.
but the word is that they're 8 million short. So I don't know.
Apparently, the city of Santa Rosa is going to find the money. That's
Well-
that's what I heard this morning.
I think it's a monument to the retirement and career of the architect, not to the most efficient expansion of our bicycle pedestrian infrastructure. We're spending way too much money. You know, $40 million to do a fraction of a mile.
From Alejandra's comments too, I would imagine the bridge from Lakewood Village to the town square, that is dead as a doornail. It's still being considered? Anybody know?
It lives on in a PDF in the town of Windsor,
Really?
where
Like-
all projects go for
In a
purgatory.
back room, they all talk to each other.
There, it's
PDFs.
just on that note,
Like
all these overcrossings are very expensive.
Yeah.
It is-
So as Alejandro noted earlier, the project they were presenting on is called Phase 1. The overcrossing that's proposed in plan documents is called Phase 2. But it's
These prices-
unfunded, and given the cost of the recent overcrossing in Santa Rosa, we are definitely advising our local agencies to look closely at cheaper designs for overcrossings.
Suspension bridge like they have in the Himalayas or something. Yeah, Tom.
So how far is it from the undercrossing? I mean,
The proposed overcrossing in Windsor,
mhm.
probably
100 yards.
500 feet or so.
To
It's
the
very
north?
close. Correct. So it would provide a more direct connection to downtown using the creek trail that is along Windsor Creek, and then would cross over Highway 101 into downtown Windsor. And so you would avoid having to go through all the congested intersections of the ramps.
Two-way bike path.
I'm just gonna look on the bright side. These prices will come down when algorithms take all our jobs, and we're all working retirement for transportation infrastructure improvements.
Who do I invest in on the stock market for those algorithms? Yeah, you'll let me know after this.
Rocks are still expensive.
All right, I think we're digressing, so thank you guys.
Now's the time to build.
Anything else? We're adjourned.
Suppliers and contractors are hungry.
They should.
Yes, they are. That was, Mark, the players